Alright, we good. Yo, what's up, Kizzy? Yo, what do you do, fam? I'm finna make some combat, dog. It's been like 16 years, but I be coming over here every so often, man. But I was looking at my channel the other day, just looking at the old streams and shit. I'm like, fuck, bro. I gotta come back and take this shit over how I was supposed to. But nah, in all reality, though, it was just fun, bro, being able to play the game and just make YouTube videos. You know I had to get the milk, you know that? Squad. Wait, is OG still in the game? Or nah? Dang, I already started my game. Okay, now we're back on screen. Bro, that took like 30 years. Still on fajitas. Huh? No, chat, she said yes. Yeah, I ain't paying the water. I wonder if I still got it. Shit, I don't even know how to use it. I never even had it before. Shit, man. Why he only make balls like that, man? Oh. Oh shit. Bro, my edit button don't even work. Damn. Probably gotta even change my settings, bro. No, I don't even gotta get up. I just gotta change my settings, bro.
Comp custom loadout. Reload 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 custom loadout. Shotgun.
Yo, what's up, Julia? Oh shit. Whoa, whoa. I still can't edit though, bro. Shit, man. Yo, what's up, bro? Bro, I can't edit, man. What's going on? When you can do a big time for us to stream together, when you free, available, do it. My mic messed up. Dang, what it sound like? I need to learn how to set up left stick, man. Right now, I'm really just playing for aim, really. That's all I would call it. So, like, ah, damn. Fuck, why I can't hit it, bro? This nigga ass. If I could, I would have edited that right there. Better not contest this shit. He one shot. Yes, sir. I gotta go to a lobby now.
Update. Just copy what I do. Go to settings. Go to this icon dot above them. Go to building and then to this one. Bind this to left stick. Press confirm. Press apply below. Go to edit, then down to edit building. Make sure it's unbinded, then go back. Press X. Press apply. Go back to edit building. I've already found out how to fix if you can't edit with left stick in new update. Go to this icon dot above them. Go to building and then to this one. Bind this to left stick. Press confirm. Press apply below. Go to edit, then down to edit building. Make sure it's unbinded, then go back. Press X. Press apply. Go back to edit building. Press left stick. press apply. Now it should work. Again, try it out and let me know in the comments.
What if I do what I might sound like though? Please tell me I can edit. Have a good one. Thanks for stopping by stream.
Reload custom loadout. Reload custom loadout. Reload custom loadout. Reload custom loadout. Fight loadout. Reload custom 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 loadout.
Hit the favorite creator button in front of you so you can find our maps easier and support us.
This is an iPod 14. It was locked with a bad LCD. We're gonna put this in here. Alright, we got phones falling. But now I think this might be one of my biggest shipments I shipped out. This is an iPhone 15. It needs, dang. And this was a perfectly good phone too. The dude freaking logged into it and then forgot to log out. Couldn't get in contact with him, bro. So I lost money on that. But shit, you win some, you lose some. Everything really just be a learning lesson. Like that won't happen. I'm in a montage. I seen it. I meant that. I was actually watching it right now. No, this is not it. Yeah, I got you. Hold on.
Make this video right now.
I don't know if this copyright or not, so I can't play the music, but. Watch, I know I'm monetized.
719, catch me on my phone. If your shawty not replying, yes, she at my home. And you claiming all these streams, none of y'all know. You can't even make your lyrics go on rhythm song. Hey, topic get the blast. Niggas say, talking me down, you go my ass. Grab you in the car and make you slide like a lad. Man, I heard my voice, I'm a song without a tab. Me or shawty match, we just got high fast.
I like that edit you do right there. The way you edit. Oh, that was nice, cool, cool. I'll roll it down. Then how you do that overlay? Showing like it's like double you talking. You ain't see it pretty gates, but you see it out. I ain't gotta prove any niggas. Every time you check my shapes, you getting bigger. That's why my lenses, man, is getting clear. Back then, I ain't even see a figure. Nice. I remember with it though. I just say like, I feel like there you can improve as far as like clips though. But like, just keep doing what you're doing though. Keep posting with the clips. Like, don't stop. They get better. Like, as you keep posting, you're gonna get better. Oh, I gotta figure this out, bro. Okay, so. No, not keyboard. No. Okay, yeah. Okay. Reload, yeah, next weapon, previous weapon. Alright, man, have a good night, man. I love you. Okay. What's up, everybody? So today Fortnite basically messed up our keybinds, and now players that are on controller are unable to edit their buildings. Well, I'll go ahead and show you one method that I found out works for me. That way I can go ahead and edit. It's actually quite simple, but it is obviously annoying. So let me show you what I mean by that. So the main culprit in all of this is that your left stick basically was added to a few of the mapping on your controller. So we're gonna go ahead and kind of go through this. We have sprint, that's left stick. We keep going down. You might now notice that you have toggle weapon canteen on your left stick. What this means is basically if you're holding a weapon where you can switch modes, this may now get in the way and therefore not allow you to edit your buildings. So one quick thing that you can do is change this to something else. You can go ahead and remove it completely. And then now if we go down here, we're gonna go over to edit. You're gonna notice that our edit building, depending on how you play, might be selected as left stick. As you can see, I have the left cross here, therefore I'm actually able to edit. So again, if you have edit building as a left stick here, it might intervene with the whole canteen that I just talked about. So go ahead and switch that out. You also want to go ahead and unbind it and then just add it again and then apply it. So now if we go into the game, you should be able to edit successfully, as you can see there. But yeah, let me know if this worked out for you. Hopefully if it did, you can like the video, consider subscribing. If you have any further, hey everyone, welcome. Further questions, let me know, and go ahead and show you one method that I found out works. Was added to a few. Now notice that you have toggle weapon canteen on your left stick. What this means is basically if you're holding a weapon where you can switch modes, this may now get in the way and therefore not allow you to edit your buildings. So one quick thing that you can do is change this to something else. You can go ahead and remove it completely. And then now if we go down here, we're gonna go over to edit. You're gonna notice that our edit building, depending on how you play, might be selected as left stick. As you can see, I have the left cross here, therefore I'm actually able to edit. So again, if you have edit building as a left stick here, it might intervene with the whole canteen that I just talked about. So go ahead and switch that out. You also want to go ahead and unbind it and then just add it again and then apply it. So now if we go into the game, you should be able to edit successfully, as you can see there. But yeah, let me know if this worked out for you. Hopefully if it did, you can like the video, consider subscribing. If you have any further questions, let me know, and I'll do my best to help you out. I will see you on the next one.
Okay, so more often than not, I feel like the most overlooked part of anyone's system is their monitor. So today we're going to talk about some monitor tech, what some of the specs mean, and some of the nice-to-have features, and features like left stick. So the problem is you have more than one button to more than one bind, so you can't actually do that in the new update. They broke that, so you're going to have to remove the stuff. So if you use left stick to edit, you're going to have to remove the other two things bound into that. But basically, to fix this, guys, you need to go back to your settings and then go to where it's where you're basically wherever your bind is, you're having trouble. Alright, it's right here. So basically you want to unbind it real quick, and then after you unbind it, chat, you want to click left stick, whatever bind you want to do. So see, I have it on auto run and toggle weapon cating. So I need to go find those two binds right now. So alright. So basically, look, I have found the first one. So targeting, I don't even know why I have weapon caden. There's not even a weapon that does that in game right now. So basically, remove that as your bind. And then I had another bind. It was auto run. So let me try finding that one. Yeah. So is that in here in movement? So instead of having auto run as double tap, I want to remove that. And then test it out, and then boom, I can use my pickaxe again. So that's how you fix the bug. Unfortunately, if you have two things bind to the same button, you're kind of screwed. So the only way you can actually fix this right now is by doing that. So if this video helps, then you're on the sub, and like that. If you appreciate it, go use my code. And look, I can use my pickaxe again. So if you have that like for your editing button, just remove. So most of you guys use left stick for your editing button. So if you guys are trying to fix that and trying to edit again, you just need to remove like the two things that are bounded, so let's think.
Give me the next 30 minutes, and I'll help you make the most of your 20s and your 30s. So I made my first million when I was 26. A decade later, my portfolio companies generated last year over $250 million. I'm 36 now. So in this video, I'm going to give you the real world advice that I wish someone had told me much earlier. So number one is you want to take asymmetric bets. If you're under 30, you have no reason not to go 100% all in on your goals. The downside is nothing, and the upside is everything. If you think about life as giving you kind of lottery tickets, right? You can scratch off a ticket, and if you don't win, then what did you lose? The scratch-off ticket. But the thing is that when you have nothing to lose, you have nothing to lose, and you only have things to gain. And so the objective when you have as little as you can is to take as many shots as possible, because your downside is zero, right? And so it's the only time in your career where you can take more shots than anyone else. And so the reason or the fact that people don't take shots, and myself included when I was younger, I was so afraid to take a shot, but the only reason that was holding me back was the belief that other people who I don't even talk to anymore would somehow judge me as a quote failure. You never actually start from scratch ever again, because every time after the first time you start from scratch, you start with an experience. So you still always net a positive. And so that's the beautiful thing about taking shots, is that you either get the big win, or more likely, you learn something, and then that learning compounds. And so the thing is that I had a misunderstanding of how success worked, which is that it's far more stacking many things on top of each other than it is nothing, 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 and then something works, right? And so if you imagine success like a bridge, right? So you're over here, and you've got this chasm that you have to get across, right? This is, let's say there's alligators here, and lava and all sorts of stuff, right? And then there's you over here who's got, your big smiley face and you're happy and you're doing all the stuff you want. The thing is that I thought that I just kept wanting to jump over this gap over and over again and think like, if I just jumped hard enough, or if I had the right opportunity, that's what would do it. But more likely than not, it's really like you install these bricks on the path, and you keep walking, and it's like, okay, well, I fall here, okay, well, I'll fix this one later, and then you take a whole, and then you start again, and then you fall here, and then you fix this, and you keep going, and you fall here, and then you fix this, and then all of a sudden, you make it all the way across. And that's what it looks like, or what the experience of kind of becoming the overnight success is, and that's why so many people talk about it, where it doesn't happen at all, and it happens all at once. It's not that it happens all at once. The actual outcome of getting a system to work all the way through, that is binary. But the process of building the system actually very linear. I'm also not saying this from a position of even though I saw some success early in my career, I also started pretty early, and so I had 9 failed businesses, 9, before I had one that really worked. And so I bring this up to say that, like, I don't know what failure you're on right now. Maybe you're on 0 failures, you're on 1 failure, or 2 failures, but you have way more failures in you. At the end of the day, like, one of the big realizations I had is that since life is an infinite game, and what that means is that there are games where you have a defined time period, and at the end you count the score, right? And then there's infinite games where the only point of the game is to keep playing the game. And so, like, the point of marriage is not to get married, it's to stay married. The point of health is not to get healthy, it's to stay healthy. And the point of business is not to get into business, but to stay in business. And so basically the only thing that you have to do to stay in business is to choose to continue to fight. And so once you realize that, then you realize that you become a success the moment you decide to work, because being successful is far more about being in the game, about being in the arena. And so when you're in your 20s, what you lack in experience, you have to make up for in effort and hours. And believing otherwise leads to a life of honestly well-deserved mediocrity. So if you're hearing this, you're like, okay, I got it. I need to take more bets, and I need to take maybe riskier bets because my downside is nothing. All right, well, which bets do I take? So number 2, don't follow your passion. So passion is vague, and so it's very difficult to say, I like this thing more than this thing. But what you can say is, I'm better at this than that. And so passion usually then comes from competence, not creates competence. And so we usually like things that we get good at, rather than getting good at things that we like, right? So this is the thing like that I think confuses a lot of people. And so the other flip side of this is that enjoying something doesn't even guarantee that you're good at it, or that you're going to be able to make money from it. And I remember my dad used to tell me when I was much younger, he said, listen, if I were following my passion, I'd be a bartender at a ski slip, right? He said, if you could just make money, he said, the rest of your life you can do whatever you want. And I actually think it was very practical advice for me, and I'm very grateful that I got that. The thing is that getting good at anything, you have to slog through this period where you're probably not going to be passionate about it, because it's very boring, it's very monotonous, it's very repetitive, right? It's one thing to say, oh, I like ping pong. It's another thing to say, like, I hit 500 forehands and 500 backhands every morning and every night, right? It's a different level of dedication that you have to it, and that isn't going to be something you're passionate about. You might like playing the game, but getting good at the game are two very different things, right? And so it sets this false expectation that I think ultimately harms more people. And I think one of the biggest reasons of not following your passion is that your passions will change as you age. I promise you, the things that I was passionate about when I was 20 is not things I'm passionate about now, and I'm sure the things I'm passionate about when I'm in my mid and late 40s are going to be different than things I am now. Same as 50s and 60s. And so this idea that like I have to find this one thing, it puts a ton of pressure on that thing that it has to be perfect forever. And if it's not going to be perfect forever, then why don't we be practical now so that we can give ourselves options later? So fundamentally, all we're going to look for are things that you're good at that people already spend money on, because that creates a very high likelihood outcome of you creating something that you can exchange in the marketplace. Once you've decided on something that you want to get better at, you're already good at it, you want to get better at it, which is hopefully, maybe it is your passion, which would be amazing, but a lot of times it's not. The next thing is you have to get good at one thing. Think about the equal opposite of this. How would I get someone to be poor? I would get them to keep starting new things rather than getting good at one thing. And so do you remember that guy who got rich drop shipping, day trading, buying crypto, and wholesaling all at the same time? Yeah, me neither. You have to focus. And it's arrogant to think that you can do multiple things at once and beat someone who does one thing with all their effort. You have to pick one thing and go all in, and then you become the one who's hard to beat. So I told you earlier that I had 9 failed businesses. Now, here's the part that a lot of people don't know. 6 of those I had at the same time. And so I like to tell people, so, oh yeah, I'm a CEO, I've got multiple companies, right? Like kind of the way I do now, but it's very different now, because the thing is that I actually have CEOs who run those businesses, right? Not me. Because you can only be CEO of one thing. You can only drive one thing. Now, I drive acquisition.com, right? But CEOs of each of the divisions, of each of the portfolio companies, like those are people who run their own profit and loss statements. And I didn't understand that. And so I had a chiropractor agency, a dental agency, a gym launch business where we did turnarounds. And then I also had 5 gyms of my own at the time. Alright? Depending on how you want to describe it. I had 5 locations plus the 3, so I had 8. It's a lot. Alright? It's too much. And because of that, I was stressed out of my mind. I was so spread thin. And basically, I had lots of things that generated revenue, and I didn't make any money. The only thing that it fed was my ego, not my bank account. When did this big turnaround happen for me? Layla came into my life, and she was like, hey, you're clearly really good at this one thing. Why don't we just cut everything else? And that's exactly what I did. It was the hardest period of my life, because I had shut down all the other businesses but one, which also meant that I had to end partnerships with all these different other people that were relying on me. And that was hard. I'm not gonna lie, like, it was not fun. Like, these are people that I liked. But I had to make this decision. I had to cut off the life that I didn't want to have the life I wanted. If you want to impress people who are poor, talk about how many things you do. If you want to impress people who are rich, talk about how good you are at one thing. Like, at the end of the day, your ability to demonstrate excellence is going to be the only thing that someone who is ahead of you will look at. And so you only fool the people who have no idea. And I'll be real, there's a lot of people who have no idea. So the thing is that this is where the whole imposter syndrome will start creeping up on you. Because you're like, man, I kind of feel like a little bit of imposter. Because you are. You're misrepresenting yourself. You know you're not as successful as you pretend to be. And so if you want to eliminate imposter syndrome, just stop lying. When I say lying, people are like, I don't lie. If you present something in a way that you know is going to be perceived differently than what reality is, posturing, in my opinion, lying. You're misrepresenting. What you want to be able to do is state the facts and tell the truth. Period. And then if those facts and truth are not compelling and do not get you status, then change the facts and change the truth. Meaning, not that you lie about them, but you work so hard that the truth is compelling. And sometimes that takes time. But I promise you, the people who are all in on the imposter stuff, the guys that I knew that were, when I was in my 20s, who were kind of like hustle bros, whatever, a lot of those guys faded, and then, or they're still like jumping from thing to thing to thing, kind of like pretending to be successful. But like, I know that they're barely able to afford their house. At the end of the day, it's a choice that you have to make. Do I want to pretend to be rich? Do I want to pretend to be successful? Do I want to look like I'm successful? Or do I want to be successful? Which more likely is do the things that success requires, which today do not look like success. It looks like a very long string of failures, because you will be rewarded far more in life for your determination than your intelligence. But the problem with determination is that in the short term, it looks like a long string of failures until it works. Okay, so you're like, got it, I'm gonna focus. Now let me give you something that's gonna help you stay focused. Number 4, stop networking. All right, now this is a really, really important point. Now, it's not that I even have some big problem with networking overall. That's actually not my point. It's more that there are seasons of life, right? In the beginning, you're in exploration. I grabbed this from Naval and I really love it. Later on, you get into exploitation, which is where you go all in, right? And so the thing is that in the beginning, you're tasting lots of stuff. You're trying to figure out what you are good at or have some proclivity towards. When you have that proclivity, then it becomes very clear, now is the time to cut everything else so that we can focus and go deep, right? So you go broad in the beginning so that you can figure out what you to go deep on. The broad period that you're in is never the period where you're going to make money. Like, this is the part you have to get. And I'll say from the beginning of when I started until I really graduated from it was about 5 years. It's less of a binary, more of a continuum. In the beginning, you taste lots of stuff, and then you just have to, because in the beginning, you have to say yes to things. You have to say yes because you're so bad, you're so scared, you never want to say yes. But you learn to say yes a little bit, and then you say yes more, and then you say yes more, and then very quickly, you learn to say yes and get overwhelmed. And so the only way out of this yes trap is you have to start practicing to say no. And if you're like, wait a second, that means that I have to change what I do. Welcome to entrepreneurship. Like, you have to learn, you have to evolve, you have to grow. So let me give you a very tactical example. So if you're debating between going to a networking event, right, or like a lunch with some dude who's like, hey, we should collaborate, we should synergize, we should maybe trade ideas, let me pick your brain, whatever, right? And if you're picking between any of those things and working, choose the work. Because when the work works out, the people will still be there to take your call. But if you never do the work, no amount of networking will get the work done for you. And the bonus or negative bonus here is that if you don't get the work done, they're not going to take your call in the future. And so they're willing to take the call today with whatever small amount of success that you have. But if you lose that success because you get distracted, they're not going to take the call in the future. That door will be open, I promise. And not only will that door be open.
Wait, I'm trying to hold one. Hello?
Some gangster shit. It's the Eminem being annoying right here. I'm gonna kill him. You can get him, bitch. Come on.
I'm not it.
I'm about to cook. Shit, I'm about to cook. I don't seem like I'm constipated.
100 other doors will open for you if you win. During the season, losers congregate, winners isolate. If everyone was supposed to win, they would have made podiums bigger. The top of the mountain isn't supposed to fit a lot of people. It's normal. The air is harder to breathe. And the thing is if all of this seems antithetical or different than what you've heard or what other people around you are experiencing, ask yourself, do those people have the lives you want? A great way to make a mistake is to ask someone else's idea about your idea who has no idea. When you make this transition from going from the exploration period to the exploitation, phase. You go from many looser connections to a very few tight ones. I tend to be very transactional as a person, but I think we all are, and some people are just open about it. Everybody on some level does some sort of math in their head of like, this person in my life, I get more benefits than I have costs. But the thing is that if you want to raise the standard of your life, you have to raise the standard of the people who you surround yourself with. Because the fastest way to change your life is to change who you're friends with. Because that reference group is ultimately going to be what you compare yourself to. And so if you change who you compare yourself to, all of a sudden, you will create deprivation around the difference between where they're at and where you're at. The only way that people let you into circles that you don't deserve to be in is work ethic. There is no other way. It is the universal currency of respect across cultures, across time periods, across cohorts, across generations. An old man will respect a young man who hustles, and they will always be willing to give time to somebody who they think will execute. Like that was my secret, and it still is my secret. Like I now work with people who are above, I punch above my weight class in terms of the people that I'm connected with because they know that I'll do the work, and so they don't feel like they're wasting their time by helping. Because the thing is, a lot of people are actually very happy to help you. What they aren't happy to do is waste their time helping you when you actually don't help yourself. And so I've shed friends at every season of my life, and my close circle has always been very small. Like, very small. The thing is that I think of my life in kind of seasons, right? And so you're going to have friends for this season, and maybe you keep them for life, but maybe you don't. And I think giving yourself permission to say, like, that was that season, and they were amazing friends for the objectives that I had then, and then my objectives changed. And it's not really fair to them to say, hey, I'm completely changing all the things that I'm doing. You have to still be friends with me. It might not make sense for them. And so not keeping this expectation over them has helped me kind of, like, free myself of that so that I can reinvest the time that I have in friends that I think will help me get to where I'm trying to go next. Okay, so if we're taking these big bets and we're following something that we're good at rather than that we're passionate about, and we're not going to get distracted, we're doubling down on one thing, and we're turning off these other things that in the beginning we were exploring, the little lunches, the little networking, because we know that if we just succeed at this one thing, all of those doors will be open. What do we do to make money? So let me give you a money rule. Money loves speed. And this will relate back to the asymmetric bets. By the time you have all the information, the opportunity is gone. Sometimes you just have to make your bet. And it's almost always faster to make a decision, then make a mistake, and then correct that mistake than it is to painstakingly deliberate on the decision. If you know how long it would take you to fix something if you're wrong, then just make your best bet, because you can always fix it later. And so said differently, if it takes you 5 minutes to decide and then 10 minutes to fix something, don't take 2 hours to decide, because you can just do it, and if you're right, you immediately are moving forward 5 minutes later. And if you're wrong, you're moving forward 15 minutes later. But either way, it's going to take you less time than trying to assume that you're going to know